Greetings and welcome. We are back in the zone, the BIZ Info Zone, and you're watching the BIZ Info Zone Show. And I just want to welcome you. Thanks for joining me today. This is really a landmark day because there's so many new things in the works for 2016. And for those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do know me, I'm Lynn Hawkins, a certified accelerated business development expert and CEO of the P3 Academy for Social Entrepreneurship. And at the Academy, I work with mainly women entrepreneurs to build business in a rapid, holistic, and real-world framework that allows you to unlock your true business potential and achieve your unfulfilled dreams. And I know for me, that was huge in figuring out how to do business at an accelerated pace without falling off the cliff or running into the back of the car in front of me. It was a game changer for me. And it's been a game changer for some of my clients, well, for all of my clients, actually. And I want to share with you today some of the things that I not only teach, I have clients to learn, practice, embody, and implement. And this systems that I teach, you'll find out a little more about a little later on. So make sure you stay tuned. Get out your pad and paper, take notes, because some of this stuff is transformational that I'll be talking about today. And right now, I just really want to sincerely, from my heart to yours, for this first show of 2016, I want to welcome you to the new BIZ Info Zone Show. And it's being branded new with 3 words, 3 concepts, 3 thoughts around doing 10x business. And that's business, money, and strategy. Why? Well, in the zone, that's where you, the savvy social entrepreneur, are able to express your purpose, plan your next moves, learn what it takes to implement the processes, strategies, gain some of the tools that you can use in order to implement more easily, and move into profits, into bigger profits, into 6- and 7-figure profits. And that's what we're going to be focused on in 2016, business, money, and strategy. And for business, it's going to be on developing the CEO in you, because you are your business. And without you, there is no business. Without your business, others can't do business with you. So we've got to get we've got some great things in store for you. Some of the guests that will be coming on are going to be phenomenal for giving you additional strategies and tools to grow your business. And I'm going to do more teaching in the zone. You're going to see me on Periscope. You're going to see me on Blab, because some of the concepts and strategies and, of course, the tools that I'm going to be teaching are going to be for you to grow your money. And, money, okay, that was business. Money, which is one of my true passions, being dubbed the money girl early in my entrepreneurial journey without really even realizing what that meant. To now be focusing on money, the subject of money, the way that I am, and growing money and being in the flow of money. And it's just really, really exciting. And I'm so glad to share it with you. For strategy, yep, that's another one of my passions. And for those of you who know me, you know that I've been in grant writing and business plan development and co-creating strategies to grow business. And that's totally the stuff that thrills me. And it thrills my clients when they can walk away from something that we've just completed with not just the plans and the strategies, but the action steps that put them in motion, and completing those action steps, allowing them to open up to what can come from even the daily tiny actions that they've taken. And we'll talk a little bit more about all of that today as well. My heartfelt desire for today is to deliver some valuable information that you can take action on and maybe even earn some income on in the process. And I also want you to know why making money isn't enough for 10x business success. And if you've thought about, yes, 10x business, and you've been in a program that's focused on 10x business, then you may already know that making money isn't enough for 10x business success. Having the money strategy is what it takes for the 10x business strategic plan to get completed and have the things that you can implement. But money isn't enough for the success element. And I'll talk about that a little more as well. Now, you no doubt have noticed that I don't have a guest on for today to interview, although that does resume next week with another fabulous guest, and we're going to be talking about wealth creation. We're going to talk about the money and the money energy and more of the money energy and creating wealth, how to create it to flow fast and furiously, like the river flowing, and you're standing in the middle of the stream, that river flow, and arms open, and you're receiving it all, because when you are open to receiving it, it can flow in. And when it flows in, it's flowing in for you to use, to spend, to give away some. And you have to, however, be open to receiving it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. You can find out more about the BIZ Info Zone show schedule and what's coming up. You can even watch some of the last couple of shows, as well as the featured show, right at bizinfozone.com. So go there, sign up for our YouTube channel. You'll find that also at bizinfozone.com. And I'm just breathing into the gratitude that I feel for having you as a part of the BIZ Info Zone show audience, knowing that our focus going forward is going to be around business, money, and strategy, and bringing more clarity to how you can 10x your business and you can become the 10x CEO. Now, that's what we're focused on today, and our conversation really is going to be on what it takes to be a 10x CEO. And something that when it became an aha moment for me, I have to tell you, it was a game changer. When I began to see myself to move and live my life as the CEO of my business, everything changed. And I can't really say why I didn't see myself as CEO. I was calling myself CEO. I written it into my business plan as CEO. And there was a certain point that I got to that the shift was made. It's like, I am the CEO of my business, just like Tony Robbins is the CEO of Tony Robbins International, and others are CEOs of their business. And so today I wanted to share with you the first of 3 of what I'm going to be teaching on, the first 3 of 10 tips to 10x CEO. So here goes. 10 tips to 10x CEO, and you're going to get the first 3 right here today. 10 tips to 10x CEO. And when I thought about that, I thought, oh my gosh, are there only 10? Well, there's probably, I, I actually am doing a challenge for myself to do 52 tips, one a week, that I can actually focus on and expand into and really bring some thought to across the board. But I'm going to focus on these first 10 because it is out of these first 10 that so much more comes. And think about it. You've made high five figures in your business or even six figures. And I'm talking about 10 times what that was. If you made $100,000 a year, 10 times, that's $1 million a year. Could you see yourself, see your business earning $1 million a year? If you've been in the mid six figures or high six figures, can you see 10xing your business to grow exponentially in a short period of time? And I'm not talking 5 or 10 years. I'm talking about less than that. The possibilities abound. And as you think about it, even if you made $50,000 in 2015, 10xing that's $500,000. If you made $5,000 in 2015, 10xing that, does it make you scratch your head? Does it make you pause for a moment and ask, is it even possible? And more than that, can I do it? Does it make you wonder if it's possible? It is possible. And my answer to all of those questions is yes, it's possible, but it depends. It depends on how committed you are. It depends on whether or not you're open to learning these strategies. It depends on whether or not you're willing to invest in yourself. You've heard many of the great teachers out there talk about how they've invested in themselves. And I've done the same thing. I've invested in my education, whether it be monetarily or by the pain that I felt, which I'm sure some of you can relate to as well. It's actually been both. It's been the journey that I've invested in monetarily, spiritually, energetically, and that's where 10x growth happens. That's where transformation happens. And if you are content with being in your 5-figure business, that's cool. If you're at a 6-figure level or close to it, or you're creeping up to that 6-figure level and you want to just hold where you are because you're expending so much energy, you're thinking, how can I do more and make more progress? Well, that may be a place to hold for a minute. Or, even if you're at a 6-figure level and you can't anticipate how to have substantial growth that can make a difference in your life and your business without a lot of hard work on your part, if your desire is there, you can do it. If your desire is to reach 6 figures and you just can't figure out how, listen up. You're who I want to talk to. I want to help you maximize momentum as you step in. Step into what, Lynn? Well, step into the energy that's going to take you into the flow of money. Step into the heart-centeredness that's going to take you into the marketplace where people will find you. Step into your money flow where you're going to see some things shift in your world. And so here goes. Let's get into this because first we're going to talk about business, money, and strategy. And I'm going to give you the first 3 tips now because they each relate to one of these. And again, it's my desire that you'll get more than just information from this. You'll get a new way of thinking. You'll get a usable strategy that you can use to implement now. You'll get a vision of seeing money flow to you and through you as you're doing your purposed work. And that is truly my desire from everything that I'll be doing going forward, from what people that I bring on to the show that I'm interviewing, shows that I'm going to be on, where I'm going to be interviewed. And it is truly to bring you into the next level of living the 10X CEO. So are you ready for this? Here's tip number 1. Write this down. Be the leader. Okay, Lynn, be the leader. I am a leader. At least I think I am. I am a leader. I'm leading myself. I may not have a team. I may not have somebody that I am actually directing to do this or do that or do the other, or I do have a team. I am a leader. Well, leaders of business, especially CEOs, have certain responsibilities. And before I get into that, let me just talk about what's your definition of business. Webster's, Wiki, other sources actually define business as something, right? A brick and mortar something, a service business, a sales, a multi-level marketing business. It's something. Well, I want to challenge you to think and hear me as I say I define business as someone. Yeah. Okay, Lynn, tell me about that one. The definition of business is someone that has an idea that can bring it to bear in the marketplace, that someone will give fair exchange of money for, or goods, but fair exchange, or love. Love is fair exchange. And a business begins with a person having an idea. And you know what we call that? We call that human capital. And in that idea, there's a delivering of the something that most people define as business. And I'm suggesting that the process of business is what most people think business is. However, without the party that had the idea that turned into what a business is, the something a business is, there would be no process. So there would be no business. So is business a something or a someone? Probably both, okay? But I, once again, challenge you to think as business being a someone, because even as a business is a something, it needs a leader. And in that business leader, the CEO, what is the role of that leader? So let's talk about this. Be the leader. Now, how does leadership play into all of this? Well, leadership and what it means to be a leader is defined by a lot of people, some of the best minds in personal development and other spaces, and in quite different ways. Well, I want to give you definition as one of my mentors, Rick Justice, the CEO of the 360 Group and author of the book, The Grand Challenge. He states that there are 2 jobs of a leader. And as the CEO of your business, you have one responsibility, and that is to drive revenue or cause revenue to be driven into and through the business. And you do that by being the leader, the CEO leader. And there are 2 jobs of a leader. The first is architect of the future. Let's sit with that one for a minute. Architect of the future. What does that mean? And I'll go into that in a moment. Because, well, maybe I'll go ahead and do that now. Architect of the future. What is that? That is the CEO leader who has the responsibility of more than driving revenue to, in, and through the business. This CEO leader sets the vision for what the business can and will do and influences to the reality of that vision. The architect of the future sees the outcomes, derives the strategies to get to the desired outcomes, and then communicates, influences through communication to drive to that vision, making that vision a reality. So that's one job of a leader. What's the second job of a leader? And Rick contends that it's the guardian of the mood. What does that mean? Well, I love this because, and we've all been there, whether you've been in the corporate environment on a large scale or in a small business, you know what the business, the organization's environment feels like. Guardian of the mood is the CEO leader who sets the culture of the organization, the beliefs, the values, sets the thinking around what can and can't be done, about what will and what won't be done. The CEO leader also brings on team members and influences them, as well as potential clients and customers. The CEO leader's job as guardian of the mood is to keep the mood of the movement of the organization, the way that they have set their values, their thinking about progress, how fast they're going to go. I heard a quote from Eric Lofholm not long ago that reminded me of having heard it before. The speed of the pack is influenced by the speed of the leader. And that goes for everything else. Anything of the pack is influenced by its leader. And that is where the guardian of the mood, the CEO leader, has their second big job, being guardian of the mood. Now, as it relates to customers and clients, guardian of the mood is responsible for making sure that the customer experience that's created is what's desired, that's actually going to keep you on track to realizing that vision. And it does, in fact, impact your success. So let me just review that real quick, because the two jobs of a leader, and I want you to remember this, and I will be talking about this so often as I move forward into 2016, because I just believe so, it sets it so clearly. You can see that as CEO of your business, you are the architect of the future and the guardian of the mood. And when you're thinking about growing your business in that regard, does it make you feel like you have a little bit more of universal energy flowing with you as the architect of the future and the guardian of the mood? Well, it did for me, and it does for me, and I'm able to see it happen for my clients as well. And I have to tell you, write it down, think about it, and apply it in your own life, in your own business. As parents, we're in the same place of leadership. Architect of the future, setting the vision for our kids, helping them to create their own visions, and guardian of the mood, having a household environment that speaks to love and the heart and the sharing and the caring that goes on in the family. Well, the same thing applies to your business. So you're probably wondering, okay, Lynn, what's tip number 2? Well, tip number 2 is me saying, forget goal setting and focus on intention setting. All right, let me explain. I just finished our 2016 visioning and milestone goal setting process with my clients, with my coaching group. It was great. It was actually amazing. It was extraordinary. And to hear some of the feedback that was given about how they felt, they could see the direction towards getting the goals accomplished, their goals accomplished. It's something that gave a higher level of clarity to them, for them. And again, the feedback that I got was just music to my ears. And as a leader, I went through this process myself first. I don't ask my clients and students to do anything that I haven't done or won't do, even doing it right with them. I determined my chief aim for 2016, my highest desire, my one thing. Yep. I teach all my clients about finding the one thing that every message can lead to, that's something that a person who needs them will pay for. And yes, if you don't have that, let's talk. I want to make sure that everyone who's now seeing themselves as the CEO of their business is also seeing themselves as responsible for identifying that one thing, because all conversations can begin any place as long as they lead to one thing. You always have clarity about who it is you're talking about determining who your ideal client is while you're talking to them, and in determining if a further conversation can happen. So remember that the one thing, and I'll be teaching on this. This is another one of the 10X strategies that I do teach on. It's setting the intention for that one thing, because when that's done, the clarity and focus that you need to know what has to be done first, how to set the priorities, how the priorities fall, what needs to be done first, how to chunk down all that's necessary to be done, which milestone goals to hit first, so that sets you up for the next set, and how to start with the end in mind. Because a lot of times I get the question, well, why are we starting here? Don't we start at the beginning? And actually, for me, I do it two ways. I do the forward strategy and I do a reverse strategy. I teach reverse strategy because if you don't know the reverse strategy, it makes doing the forward strategy so much more tedious and arduous. And I think it's a key point. Begin with the end in mind, like Stephen Covey wrote in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Begin with the end in mind. And that's where you always start with vision. Where do I want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? And I have begun a visioning process now that goes out 100 years. Okay, so a couple of people have said, really? Haven't called me crazy, but they've really, yes. If my vision for the next 100 years can come to pass, it means that I've created a legacy that not only I can be proud of, but those coming after me can be proud of as well. That I thought enough of them that they're not even a thought in my mind as yet, except that if there's a possibility of my children's children's children being able to benefit from the work that I've done in the world, I would love for that to happen. And I know that it won't happen if I am not thinking that far ahead, if my vision is not set that far ahead. The Bible talks about set the vision, make it plain. And those who are traveling it will understand it. They'll be able to buy into it. And yes, I'm paraphrasing, but they will be able to journey with you to and through the vision. Use what it is that you've set up in order to do even more. Now, There is more to this, and there will be an opportunity to do this process of visioning and milestone goal setting, and even bigger than that, intention setting. But here's two things I want you to keep in mind. Goals are good, milestone goals are better, and intention is best. Why is intention best? It's all in the energy. Intention is about energy. Intention creates alignment and flow from the heart. And my good friend, colleague, and joint venture partner, Cynthia Gardner O'Neill, has really helped me to come into the space of knowing heart energy and understanding that the heart was the first cell created upon conception. It grew and created more heart cells, upon which out of it came brain cells and other cells of the body. And so if your heart is not in it, just think of all the energy that you're cutting off. And so, for me, it's called leaving money on the table. And again, let me go back through this again. Goals are good. Milestone goals are better, but intention is best because it incorporates, it engages heart energy, and it truly is all about energy. Everything is energy. And so having heart energy in what it is that you're doing means that setting goals isn't arduous. It's easy. It's not too large of a task. It's the process, and it's enjoying the process. And you can make it a long process or you can make it a short process. And actually, I think that the way that I take people through this, it's become a midstream process, not too short and not too long, because it gets it done. And when you get it done, you're allowing the universe to totally support you. And one of the things that I bring into the process is an understanding of the conversation around intention. Leaving money on the table is one thing, and I'm just going to keep it real. It's cutting yourself off from the flow. Why would we do that to ourselves? And trust me, I've done it to myself enough to know that the answer to that question was truly lying within me, and was one of the reasons that I became certified NLP practitioner. I use NLP hypnosis, and I'm about to complete my hypnosis certification in Erickson hypnosis. And it brought me to understanding how important being aligned with heart energy and the energetic words that actually promote rapid forward movement and open doors for the heart energy that goes out and attracts back 100 times more than what was released. So think about this. If you're releasing negative energy from your heart, from your body, from your soul, you're releasing pain all around, what's going to come back to you? Pain. But if you're learning how to align with your vision, align with your milestone goals, create it in a process that's not only joy-filled but joyful, and that energy is released from your heart, what do you think might come back to you? Yes, 100 times that positive energy, that heartfelt energy, in ideal clients, in money, in opportunity, in joint venture partners, in everything that can help you to see yourself as this 10x CEO. Also, another point that I want you to really keep in mind is, I believe that better business, bigger business is done when the CEO is planning, strategizing, doing, that's implementing, and then reviewing what they've done 90 days at a time. Now, let me talk about that. There are a few people out there who are teaching, build your business in 90-day strategies. I'm one of them. I am a proponent of looking at the story that 90 days of moving in your business can tell you, and you'll be able to see what you did that was great, that had good success, what you did that maybe didn't, what you did that you could tweak a little, tweak a lot, maybe even think about leaving in order to do something better, bigger. It's the concept of, and I'm sure you've heard of the rocket ship going to the moon. Okay, blast off takes 80% of the energy to blast off to get into the atmosphere, and then 20% of the energy, but the entire trip, 97% of the time is in course correction in order to stay on course from Earth to the moon. And I talk about it too in the analogy around driving your car. Even you go to the grocery store, the gas station, you can see it in a straight line, but can you drive it in a straight line? No, it's about the adjusting that's necessary along the way in order to create bigger, better results. And that's what happens when you look every 90 days at the story that you created from the work you did for the last 90 days. Adjust what needs adjusting in order to do more. And typically the more gets done more easily. You've looked at the systems that you're using and know whether or not they are the right systems for you, whether it's a system or a process that you maybe need to throw out or tweak or adjust in a certain way, or maybe it's just working perfectly. But when you don't take that time to do that review process, I call it plan, do, review. And I teach how to do it throughout the week, and I teach how to do it throughout the month. And at the end of the third month, a quarter of the year, 90 days, do it for the 90-day period. And the story that is told over that 90 days, I guarantee you will be eye-opening. And I think you really get what I'm driving at here as far as intention, as far as energy, and setting the strategy, the implementation, the inspired action is, I love this because inspired action is like stirring the cake batter. But think about this. If you just put the ingredients in the bowl and then just dump, I got all the ingredients, they're all here in the bowl, and then just dump them into the cake pan, well, are you going to get what you thought you were going to get? No, it requires action. It requires that energy to stir and combine the ingredients. It's the same thing in your business. Set the intention, set the strategy, and then set the action items in place and implement. And then look at it at the end of 90 days and review what you did in order to know what you want to do for the next 90 days. And this whole cake thing, what you've got to time it so that it won't undercook or overcook. And 90-day increments for your business is like the oven bell going off. Ding! You know it's done. You can take it out. You can look at it, examine it, take it, let it cool, take it out of the pan, put the icing on, and then it's ready to serve. And in that cake being ready to serve is analogous to you being ready for that next 90 days. You've taken that time to adjust accordingly and set the plan for the next 90 days. And when you do that, you can make such amazing strides. Now, that was business and that was strategy. The first tip was about business. The second tip was about strategy. So what do you guess the third tip is going to be about? Yes, money. Tip number 3, increase your money thermostat. Nowadays, we hear that a lot. You've probably heard that before, as have I, as have most people. Increase your money thermostat. But how does that help exponentially grow your business? Well, first off, did you set revenue goals? Are they BHAGs? Those big, hairy, audacious goals. And in those goals, did you break them down so that you had milestone goals? And let me just talk a minute about this whole idea around goals. There was a time many years ago when I set goals all the time. And I found that as I reached a goal, I got stuck. And I hear a lot of people talking about how they got stuck because they completed a goal. And unless you have another goal already set, you pretty much have to stop, stay there for a while and set a new goal. And then you get to start again. It's the stop and start mentality. Well, when you set milestone goals, and I'll talk about the words in just a moment, but when you set milestone goals, milestones are spaces where there's a pause, not a stop, but a pause. And in that pause, you actually allow yourself the opportunity to rest, rejuvenate, celebrate, and because you've already set the next milestone, it's easy to flow and continue in the flow of forward movement. So that occurs with, the actions that you take, and it also occurs with the revenue goals that you set. Milestone revenue goals allow you the opportunity to pause when you get there, celebrate, or examine and ask yourself, what did I do good? Because I did even more. I doubled, I tripled, I quadrupled that revenue goal, or I did a little less. Let me look at what it is that I did and see what I can do a little better. And here's the thing, money is energy. Money is energy. And if everything is energy, then money is energy. What's your energy? And because it's energy, it can be measured. Money in its tangible forms can be measured. Money and energy can be measured as well through your money thermostat. Now, do you remember conversations, and you probably had some of them, cash is king. Money isn't anything unless it's cash, and cash is king. Well, cash is still a big dog, but I'm not sure it's the king anymore. Think about it. Does Oprah measure her wealth by how much cash she has on hand? What about Donald Trump? What about other mega billionaires who know their net worth? Is it measured in cash? Is cash really king? Well, I don't think cash is king anymore. But cash has a high value. Cash is an excellent form of exchange, energy exchange and reciprocity of value. And here's the thing though. Wealth is measured where cash is just a piece of it. Wealth is measured that entails cash, investments, assets and holdings, streams of income that carry value, and more. Precious stones, gemstones, and other things, land, water. I mean, there's value that equates to money And cash is only a part. I mentioned a little earlier, love is fair exchange. Love is a value element that is fair exchange. And, we're going to talk about that when I talked about, money. 10x business success means more than just earning revenue. And that's because value is more than cash. Cash is only a part of that. And we don't think of money in the bank and holdings as cash and cash value much anymore, because assets, holdings, investments, and even streams of potential income can be leveraged to create more money, more wealth. So wealth and cash are two different things. However, cash is something that it primes the pump. I'll put it that way. It primes the pump. And, think about it too. Now we measure money in EFTs and confirmed CIBs or COCs. And it's like, okay, Lynn, what are you talking about? Well, EFTs, electronic funds transfer. How many of us have ourselves set up for multiple streams of income, and we can get up in the morning or late at night and pull up the computer and check bank balances and see that money has flowed in? You can also see that money has flowed out. Electronic funds transfers, EFTs. And it doesn't have a lot to do with cash in the bank, because the money that flows into that account and flows out may be backed by another source that, if there isn't sufficient money here, it can draw from this other source in order to make it whole. And, so cash, I want you to think of wealth. I want you to think of measuring money in wealth. CIBs, cash in the bank, or COCs, cash on the card. How much cash is on your cards? Because nowadays, people don't carry cash like they used to anymore. When something happens and you look up and cash is gone, the cash is gone. However, if you're carrying it on a card, something happens to the card, you can make a phone call, you can change some things up, and you can preserve the value of the energy of money that you had. And so, I don't know how many people really realize, but Social Security, government subsidies, food stamps, now a lot of that is being transferred EFT and used from debit card access versus checks and going to the bank and cashing a check and having the cash. And that's been done for some years now. So, think about it. Think about how you're bringing money into your business. I'm a huge PayPal fan. I'm just going to put it out there. I love PayPal. PayPal as a business banking account. Of course, you have to have it tied to your business bank account at the bank. But let me tell you this, PayPal affords entrepreneurs some amazing advantages. And so I'm a huge fan of, and one of the tips that I'll be giving in the 52 tips to 10x CEO is going to be about utilizing PayPal. PayPal is a partner to an organization called Fundraiser that is a crowdfunding platform that I also promote. I've used, will continue to use, because PayPal makes it advantageous to use their partner when I'm doing and strategizing to help others to do crowdfunding campaigns. And so here's the thing now about multiple streams of income. And I really want you to get all of this about the thinking around money, around cash, around the value of money, and expand your thinking. Expanding your thinking increases your money thermostat. Now, what I've also realized is that a lot of my clients have had money thermostat limitations that were not because they didn't have this expanded thinking about money and the value of money and means of exchange, but there were some internal belief systems involved in their limits of their money thermostat. And so developing some tools to use in order to break through some of those money limitations that can actually happen in less than 60 seconds. And you're probably thinking, yeah, blow some more smoke up my skirt here, Lynn, but no, I'm serious. There is a process that I'll tell you the story behind it, because that was one of my issues. I mentioned that back in the day, I'd been dubbed the money girl because I knew how to teach money. In my 30 plus year career in commercial real estate and commercial real estate lending, that was my thing. I knew how to read the spreadsheets, how to adjust them, how to help my clients, mortgage holders, to understand what it meant as far as the value of the money they were bringing in their businesses so that they could pay their mortgage payments, so that I could have a job, so that the lenders that I was working for could actually continue to see an increase in the real estate value of the investments that they held. And those limiting beliefs were a lot of the reason that these business owners had problems in their business. Oh, the economy is so bad that my business is going under. I've utilized all my savings. And how many of us have said that? I know I'm one of them. And it took going through that process for me to understand and really come into alignment with this concept around money and increasing your money thermostat and ways to do that. I mentioned I learned EFT. I teach EFT. I have done EFT sessions that have been anywhere from 15, 20 minutes to an hour long. And same thing with hypnosis sessions and NLP sessions that have been hours long. And it got me one day. I was driving. I remember I was in California at the time, and I was driving from Northern California. I lived in the San Jose, Sunnyvale area, Mountain View area. And I was driving to LA. And I was on the freeway. I forget, the 405, I don't know, 8 lanes of traffic. And bam, this car came from the right side and just right in front of me, bam, to get off on the left side. They hit the car in front of them. The car in front of them, in front of me, they clipped the back of that car as they went between me and them to get off on this exit. This car stops in the middle of the highway. I'm, screeching to a halt right behind them, temperature up. I'm calling words that I could have not called. And then this poor girl gets out of her car, comes back to me and says, "Can I use your cell phone to call the police?" And I thought, oh my God, I was in a real tizzy at that point. I felt bad for her, which made me not feel so bad emotionally myself because she was the one that got dinged. But I remember continuing on my drive and just being in prayer saying, Lord, I can't pull over on the side of the road and go through a 10-minute tapping process to get my energy back in check. Please help me to get something that can work for me and that possibly could work for others. And I remember holding that intention. And it was less than a week later that I woke up. I was back home. I woke up out of a dream. and got it. I call it the ultimate edge technique to deliberate creation. And what you really want to start off deliberately creating before anything out in the world is what happens right here. Create the energy, create the persona, create the vibration that you want to release, because, and I mentioned it a little earlier, what you release comes back to you amplified 100 times. And so I was like, what can it be? And this ultimate edge technique came to me, and it was perfect. I used it, and then I came home one day and I wrote about it. It was everything that I had been studying about the brain, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the heart connection, using EFT, using hypnosis, using breathing, all of that. Yet I came up with a technique that can change your energetic and emotional attachment to anything that has happened to you in less than 60 seconds. I call it the one-tap solution. And I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, I forgot to mention that hanging around to the end of the show today, I'm going to gift you with a copy of the One Tap Solution book. And in that book, I explain to you how you can utilize this process. It takes less than a minute. And trust me, I've done it in the grocery store. I've done it on the highway. I've done it when somebody made me so angry, how you can feel your temperature rise. And in that time alone, and doing it anywhere, it's just been an amazing opportunity. And I would love to share that with you. So in this expanded thinking around increasing your money thermostat, the one-tap solution can also be used. Multiple streams of income. Wow. I love multiple streams of income. We love multiple streams of income, don't we? And in today's economy, which, by the way, doesn't have to put your personal economy into today's economy, especially if today's economy is not doing so well, you want to have your personal economy be your personal economy. And how do you do that but to gain the mindset that it is your personal economy? When you start getting shifted off to the left or to the right, thinking it's somebody else's, again, the one-tap solution can help you to come back into alignment and really get in the flow of multiple streams of income, and see that streams. There's a flow there, right? Can see money flowing into your account from several sources. That's flow. I love that. I want to take a minute and actually see flow. Money flowing from various locations and into my bank account for me to use, to save, to spend, to give away, to, I mentioned save, to really be the best steward of that I can. And think of money like water running. Water runs. You can put your hands out and to a cup and grab some to drink. You can put it on your face, wash your hair. When money flows, it's good, right? Well, the blood energy in your body flows. When it stops flowing, what happens? You're dead, right? So think of money like water in a stream flowing. Now think about this. Streams flow into rivers. I can see that. Streams flow into rivers. And rivers flow into gulfs. I can see that. Rivers flow into gulfs, and then gulfs flow into oceans, and oceans just flow, right? Would you rather be a stream, the river, the gulf, or the ocean? Would you rather see yourself in the stream with your arms open wide and receiving all that's possible? Or would you rather see yourself being the ocean where money flows to you and you're not just the receptacle of the money, but you're the steward, the guardian of the money? The tactical advantage is yours for the things that you care about and the things that you'd like to have and see addressed in just your life and the lives of your family members, your friends, and the world. So remember, I mentioned I wanted you to know why making money isn't enough for 10x business success. Well, it's not. Making money is being in the stream or the river. 10x business success is being the ocean. Increase your money thermostat. See yourself, identify yourself as the ocean and having the ability to do more good in the world because you have more and you desire to do more. And when you have more, you can do more. And you're typically more willing to do more. And well, see yourself. Be the ocean. And I breathe. Because this is the first 3 tips of 10 tips to 10x CEO that I wanted to share with you today. And because you hung around to the end, the gift that I mentioned a little while ago is the gift of the book, The One Tap Solution, The Ultimate Edge to Deliberate Creation. And you can find that at bit.ly/PS3 P3ACE, P3ASE _1 tap. And pick up your book, enjoy it, use it, let me know how you've used it. I'm doing a program where I'm going to be teaching the use of the One Tap Solution, and it's called Step Into Your Money Flow, where I'm going to expand on the information that I just walked you through. I'm going to give you a little bit more, and I'm actually going to show you how to use the One Tap Solution in order to do bigger things in your own life. If you're like me and you got stuck looking at those Entenmann donuts, those chocolate-covered donuts in the grocery store, you can use the One Tap Solution just like I did and totally release that energetic connection and be able to make better choices in life and in your business. Do those tasks in your business that you know that you would rather have someone else to do, but if they're your responsibility right now and you're not doing them, I guarantee you, using the One Tap Solution to help you in that framework, you'll be able to do it. And I'll be teaching you a little more too on the systems that I talked about. They're called the 12 practices of accelerated business development. And in those systems, I actually help CEOs become 10x CEOs. And I want you to do that as well. I'm Lynn Hawkins. I'm the Money Girl, your show host and today's presenter. And my friends who call me the Money Girl also call me Hawk. I've learned to identify with some of the amazing traits of the hawk, spectacular specimen and animal. And I want to help you become a 10x CEO so that you can soar to new heights in your business and in your life. You can be the ocean and do more than just earn revenue in your business, because when you earn more, you do more good in the world. Thanks for joining me today. You've been in the zone, the BIZ Info Zone, and the BIZ Info Zone Show is sponsored by the P3 Academy of Social Entrepreneurship. Join us at bizinfozone.com and check out the P3 Academy. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you again for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week. Same time, same station. 2 p.m. Eastern on Google Hangouts on air. Remember, next week we're talking more about money and creating wealth. Thanks again for joining me. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm just so grateful that you were here with me today. Be blessed, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.